Hi there BookTube, it's Emma from Emma's Bookish Lifestyle. Let me just move that camera down a little bit for you. And I hope you've had a lovely Christmas. This is a late December and Christmas haul video for you. Hopefully it shouldn't take too long. I'm not going to go too heavily into the blurbs because I'm hoping to review a lot of the books that I'm showing here. However, if you'd like me to give you some more information, then by all means please ask, and I will try and move them up my reading list a bit quicker so that I can get the reviews out for you. So first of all, in the UK we have a really good discount website called The Book People, which is www.thebookpeople.co.uk. Now, I don't think, unfortunately, it's available to anybody outside of England. However, if you are in the UK, it is a very good site to source high quality hardback books at a reasonable price. So recently I have treated myself just before Christmas to 3 historical fiction books, obviously based around historical events. Now, 2 of the queens of this are Alison Weir and Philippa Gregory. Now, I haven't actually read Alison Weir, although I've seen documentaries and things about historical periods with her in. I've never actually read any of her books, and she's currently got 2 out. So I treated myself, and wait for it because they're humdingers, to both. And the first one is 6 Tudor Queens, which is about Catherine of Aragon, the true queen. And the second book is The Lost Tudor Princess. Now, these have both recently been released. The 6 Tudor Queens is a 6-book series. This is the first. She's going to release one every year for each of Henry VIII's 6 wives. It's going to be quite a consortium of books when it's finished, I think. It's over 600 pages long, and I think most people are aware of the story of Henry VIII and his 6 wives, so I'm not going to go too heavily into the synopsis on that one. However, this is going to be based, I believe, around the life of Margaret Douglas, who was the Countess of Lennox, and she was also, I believe, niece to Henry VIII. She was niece to Henry VIII, and her mother was a queen, her father an earl, and she herself was a granddaughter, niece, cousin and grandmother of monarchs. So it looks like it is a very interesting book. She has a lot of political intrigue associated with that. Apologies, I've just realised I've been looking down from the camera. And she also had a war with both Mary, Queen of Scots, and obviously Queen Elizabeth I. So that's, again, another honker of a book, but there are actually photographs in this one which look quite nice. Sorry, the camera angle's rubbish. But I am getting a new camera, or I've got a video camera that my father's lent me, which I just need to practice on before I can start putting them onto YouTube. But it is, again, that's about 450 pages to the other one, which is about 600. So I'm going to try and shimmy on a bit faster than that. Also, what I recently bought, but I'm not going to go into a great detail of, are the 6 vintage classic books by Virginia Woolf. They are going to be part of a 2017 project, which you'll hear about more later. I know I've referred to them a few times. I'm not going to keep showing them on the channel because until I review them, but also I know that a lot of people have shown it on there. Another set that I also did buy prior to Christmas, so technically speaking it wasn't a purchase in January, is the 6-book set of the Russians vintage classic editions, which are coming out in similar sort of formats to this, with the French flaps and the beautifully formatted covers. You know, they just absolutely look lovely. So going back to my other theme was Philippa Gregory, and she's recently brought out a new book as well called 3 Sisters, 3 Queens, which is based again around the times of Catherine of Aragon, and I believe it's her sister, one of her sisters married the King of France, and one of her sisters, yes, I believe Mary married the King of France, and Margaret married the King of France, and Mary married the King of Scotland. And this is about their interrelationships as queens and their positions with, obviously, their monarchs that they married into. So finally, I've got some books that I just want to show you. First of all is The Suspicions of Mr. Witcher, The Murder at Road Hill House. This is by Kate Summerscale and was, I think, shown on one of the box unboxings that Simon at Savage Reads has been doing, as he's been reloading the shelves of his amazing and not at all jealous and or inspiring library. I want to move in. I'll be your Dobby. I'll take the books out and tenderly stroke them and clean them and return them in exactly the right position, Simon. You just have to say, you know, once a month I'll just come and clean, just to wallow in that environment. Anyway, second of all, I bought myself Mayhem, which is by Sarah Pinsborough. It's based around 1888, when the Jack the Ripper murders were going on, and obviously around the hallowed times of Sherlock Holmes. This is based around Dr. Thomas Bond. He is a police surgeon, and he is taking on a monstrous murder case based around the opium dens in London at that time. It looks to be very atmospheric. I had to buy this for myself. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, because unfortunately my brother bought me the sequel, which is Murder, for part of my Christmas present. Now, my brother did phenomenally well, but he didn't realise I hadn't read Mayhem. So I don't know if that was an intentional cunning plan or a faux pas on my mistake for not moving both of them into my Christmas wish list, but I've at least got books 1 and 2, so I'm really looking forward to reading them. Last but not least, I've got 2 other books. Africa 39, which has been out for a while. This is 39 stories of African authors south of the Sahara. I've been seeing it for a while. I ordered Beirut 39, which I've also got on my shelves, and I'm quite keen to expand my cultural knowledge and also my cultural author knowledge. I don't just want to read white British or white American authors anymore. I want to expand beyond that, and I have started somewhat, but I want to push that even further in 2017, and so this is one of the books that I've got to do that. And finally, the last book I have is a doozy, and this is The Big Cat Man by Jonathan Scott. It's his autobiography. If you don't know who Jonathan Scott is, he did The Big Cat Diaries on BBC Two and then on to BBC One. He's done a lot of documentaries on natural wildlife all over the world, and his wife Angie Scott is a phenomenal photographer. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if this was her cover photo. I was extremely fortunate that about 6 or 7 years ago now, I got the opportunity to meet them in their in the country of Nairobi. Actually, it wasn't a country. Nairobi is not a country. In the country of Kenya, they live in Nairobi, but we were there at Little Governor's Camp, enjoying a safari there, and were just completely and utterly blown away when a very informal invitation, because I really didn't think they would come to my actual wedding, turned into a situation whereby they walked in to the bar where I was having a drink with my family, and I was just blown away. They were absolutely wonderful as a couple. I really, really respect what they do in the wildlife community, what they do in the community itself in Nairobi and Kenya, the way that they take such amazing photography that takes you straight into the heart of wherever they are. They've taken photographs all over the place, not just in Africa, and Jonathan himself actually grew up in the UK, so he was absolutely wonderful. They both signed books for me while I was in Kenya, and I've got the utmost respect for him, as has David Attenborough, who's put at the bottom, Jonathan Scott understands the animals he photographs so well, it is as though he can see the world as they do. And I have to say I agree. So that is something I will be getting to very, very soon. Anyway, I hope you're all well, BookTube. I hope you've had a lovely Christmas. I hope you've spent a lot of time with friends and family. It's getting quite cold here over in the UK. We've had minus temperatures, which to some of you American states probably doesn't seem that bad, but for us Brits, minuses are quite a surprise. We've had quite cold and foggy weather, although to be fair, in our benefit, it means more reading time. So I hope you're well. I will be uploading a few more videos shortly, and take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.